And welcome to this morning's edition of the Biker Angle. How you guys doing out there? How's that party in Sturgis going, by the way? You guys getting drunk, getting laid, getting a bunch of titties, man? Come on, let me know. Anyway, a lot of people have been asking about lives. And I'm actually really thinking about it. The only thing is, what's the best time to do them? You know, is it the morning? Is it the afternoons? Is it at evening? You know, what I'm kind of figuring is I'll do the day's recaps of the news going on in the biker scene during a live. That way, we can all get into the discussion. So, let me know what time's good for you guys. You know, I was thinking maybe 11 o'clock Central Standard Time for Chicago in the morning. If not, maybe 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, you know, Chicago time. You know, I have no problems doing it. So, if you guys want to do that, let me know in the comments section. That way I can start getting it set up for you guys. Maybe we'll start, because I know I had one originally set up on the 19th. But if you guys are really looking for it, sure, start on Monday. But need to know a time. So, before we get into today's news, we had a question. And this is one I'd really like to answer here. And this one actually came off the YouTube channel. You know, real good guy. He's been following the Throttle for a while now. And let's get to his question, shall we? Love your content, but I'm getting confused. What does outlaw mean? Backroad biker Chuck is picked on for his definition. Leos are not accepted, and that seems to make sense, but what's the definition of outlaw biker? I have no desire to be anything other than a lover of riding. I'm just trying to understand. Well, you know what? That's a good question. And, you know, as far as Chuck, he's got a great channel. You know, he's opinionated, but aren't we all? But he does got it wrong. You know, you can't be a one percenter if you're not in a one percenter club. That's just the way it is. You got to remember, there's subcultures within this culture, or scene, whatever you want to call it. You know, somebody like Chuck is what we would call a scooter tramp. Scooter tramps, they ride the shit out of their bikes. You know, they really do. They ride the shit out of it, and Chuck rides the shit out of his bike. You know, I actually enjoy his videos, even though, you know, he don't know how to give both sides of the story on some issues. But, hey, that's the way the shit is. But, yeah, Chuck fits into the scooter tramp category. You know, they ride around on their bikes. They live the life of a motorcyclist. And they love camping on the ground. They love exploring. Yeah, scooter tramps are pretty hardcore, man, with the motorcycle riding. Now, as far as outlaw biker, there is a lot of freaking confusion out there because it's been mixed with a different culture. It's been mixed with the motorcycle club scene. An outlaw biker came up through the AMA. And I'm not talking about the one percenter shit. What I'm talking about is the AMA used to sanction races, flat track races, hill climbs, all that kind of shit. And those races that were not sanctioned used to be called outlaws. They were outlaw sanctioned events because they didn't comply or didn't get the sanctioning of the AMA. So that's where the outlaw, you know, biker stuff came in. You know, not in the sense of the club scene. You know, regular individuals and stuff like that. I think that shit came real early in the AMA's history. And let's face it, you know, sometimes the AMA, they can be a bunch of tightwads, man. You know, for Christ's sakes, you know, their official position on motorcycle pipes is they should be stock. They shouldn't be loud. So, that's just telling you the AMA there and why the outlaw stuff came. Another part of the culture is the motorcycle club scene and the one percenter designation. Yeah, I heard that one interview that they did, and I couldn't believe my ears, actually. A one percenter, you know, they go through a hang around, they go through a prospect period, and they bust balls and put in the freaking work. And because you're a one percenter don't mean you're doing a million miles. And that's where scooter tramps and club members, they always collide. You know, because, hey, tramps like Chuck, they love the riding. They love getting out there for the adventure. They love, you know, pitching them tents. Where club members, it's, you know, it's a lot different, man. You got the clubhouses, you got bar scene. It's just a total different way of looking at the lifestyle. You know, being a biker, most of all, is not giving a shit what other people think. It's doing you. You know, that's what the rebellion is all about. It's doing you. It's not complying with anybody's way of thinking. So, when you hear guys out there saying this and that, you got to do this and that, that's all crap, man. Because if you had to comply and there were so many damn rules, then what the hell's the fucking use of being a biker? Isn't it really? What the hell's the use of it? But hopefully that answered your question a little bit. There's designations between what's in the biker scene. And sometimes those designations get, you know, messed up. You know, can he be an outlaw? Yeah, you can as a tramp, because that's what it's all about. You're doing what the fuck you want to do. You're not, you know, doing what society wants you to do. So, you know, it's just the terminology that people get screwed up, and, you know, I just wouldn't get screwed up with the one percenter stuff, because, no, not everybody's a one percenter. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and let's debate it, man. You know, so let's get into the morning news, and I hope that answered that question for you, bud. This morning, out of the London Free Press, the Ontario Provincial Police Biker Unit, it's OPP, basically, is keeping a watchful eye on London's shifting motorcycle gang landscape after a murder plot charged against the Outlaws local chapter president was recently withdrawn, says the OPP squad leader. The Crown last month withdrew a charge of counseling to commit murder against Ryan. I ain't even gonna try his last name, guys. 42. Just 1 week before he was scheduled to go on trial. Two members of the Hells Angels, the dominant biker gang in London, and the longtime rival of the Outlaws, were the intended targets of the alleged hit, according to sources and court documents obtained by the Free Press. Quote, "We're very aware of the issues between the rival gangs. We will continue to monitor whether this release has an impact," said the Detective Staff Sergeant Anthony Redden, the head of the OPP Biker Enforcement Unit. "And if it does increase tensions, it's part of our function to try to establish that information." So basically set up. The Biker Enforcement Unit worked with London police to lay the charge against, you know, this dude. He ain't going with his last name, man. I'll butcher the hell out of it. Identified by sources as the local chapter president last October. A gun charge laid against the second man was also withdrawn. The Ministry of the Attorney General confirmed the charge against Mark was withdrawn on July 26th. Quote, "If the Crown determines that there is no longer a reasonable prospect of conviction, or that it is not the public interest to proceed, the Crown is duty-bound to withdraw the charges." Man, that's a first. Ministry spokesman Brian Gray wrote in an email statement, "Redden in recent months have sounded the alarm on brewing bad blood between the rival biker gangs with a history of violent battles." If you guys want to know about London and Europe and all that good stuff, go over to Dipper in the Winds channel. Dude's over there. He knows everything about the scene. It is culture shock. It is different than what we do here in the United States. So he'll be able to explain everything that has to do with Europe and all that stuff over there. Most recently, the Hells Angels clashed with their outlaw counterparts at last month's massive Friday the 13th gathering in Port Denver. The OPP are investigating 2 incidents of threats of violence and intimidation between members of 2 clubs in the Lake Erie community, where an estimated 140,000 motorcycle lovers flocked to on July 13th. That's a pretty damn good rally, guys. Friday the 13th celebrations have long been considered a no-go zone for patch-wearing Outlaw members. The gang hadn't shown up in many years, Redden said, because the Hells Angels and their support clubs always have a strong presence in Dover, where they rent booths to sell their merchandise. If you look at the 2 incidences that occurred in Dover, it's a prime example of what we are talking about. The escalating tensions. Well, didn't we just get a beat there? Moving on. This year's pre-rally crowd of motorcyclists included an estimated 700 members of the Hells Angels motorcycle gang. This from the Rapid City Journal. Participating in their USA run in the Black Hills. Well, see, there you go, man. You know, they're making a big thing out of it when the Hells Angels have been there forever. But that's the mainstream media for you. Speaking at Friday's news conference, the first daily meeting with reporters, through the run of the 78th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, Meade County Sheriff Ron Merwin said the gathering was a mandatory run for the Angels. Quote, what that means, I guess they could tell you, Merwin said. So we didn't have a larger presence of Angels than we normally would have. They've been doing that run every fucking year, again, with these cops. The run officially ends today, Friday, he said. Some will leave and some will stay. Merwin said the week preceding the official start of Sturgis Rally has been quiet in spite of the added influx. It's been good, he said. We haven't had any big issues, which you want, you don't. They've been there every year. Merwin said many motorcycle gangs and clubs, including the Sons of Silence and Banditos, have an annual presence at the Sturgis Rally. Some gangs own property in the Sturgis and Black Hills area to host their members. We get them all every year, Merwin said. You know, it's getting old with these cops, really it is. It's really getting old. Also at the rally, we got the hepatitis C testing at the American Legion. They're teaming up with AdVi, a pharmaceutical company, to provide free testing for hepatitis C, bloodborne pathogen, during the week's Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. So that's going on out there, guys. Hopefully Skinner put on a damn good show. I know Good Time Charlie's out there performing. He always kicks ass out at that thing. So, but with that, let me know what you guys think as far as a live, either morning or evening type of program, going over biker news, talking, bullshitting, and debating. Let's get some debates going, man. I love debates. So, but hopefully I answered that one question for you good enough. And if not, I'm sure we'll debate it in the days to come on the live programs and all that good stuff. With that said, you guys keep the rubber side down. Stay safe. Don't forget this Saturday at 1 o'clock, Motorcycle Madhouse is going to be on. New episode. And let's have some fun out there, guys.